Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Positively Living. In this episode, I would like to highlight about faith. The thing that helped me the most throughout my incarceration was having the impeccable belief that I was created for a purpose, right? So, with that being said, right, I discover my religion when during the second month of my incarceration. What happened was, yes, I was a Muslim, but I did not practice it. So I convert to Islam in 2012. However, it was due to a bet, right? So that's a story for another day. So I did not practice it until I was incarcerated in 2016, right? So what I realized is, like, most people that are sad or depressed, a lot of them do not have a strong faith or do not have religion, right? Or they have, but they have they lack the belief system, or their faith is not strong enough to help them, right? So what happened was, when I read the Quran, I realized that a lot of it are just logic based, right? So I had argument with people that do not believe in God, but sometimes, like, there's no talking to them regardless of how much logic you gave them, right? So one of the best argument that an atheist had would be like, God don't exist because there's no proof, right? When you ask them what's the proof, like, you can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't sense it, right? You can't. So, like, without all that, there's no, like, concrete proof that God exists, right? So the argument was, you have to see, hear, and feel it, right? So my best retort for this would be, like, we all know thought exists, right? We can think, we can hear ourselves thinking. So just because you cannot hear the other person think doesn't mean that he's not thinking, right? So his thought exists, your thought exists. So that throw your argument out of the window, right? Just because you cannot hear, see, or feel another person's thought doesn't mean his thought don't exist, right? Same goes with God, right? Like, there's already so many things that you could have experienced that kind of justify his existence, right? Like the golden ratio, even like God particle, right? How else can you explain that? They can't even explain it. That's why they use God particle to explain it or call it, right? And golden ratio, that's a whole nother thing. So at the end of the day, I think, like, you need to reach a certain form of enlightenment to really believe in God. And there's a reason why light is kind of like in between the word enlightenment, right? Not literally, not smack in the middle, but like it's enlightenment, right? So you need light to see. So if you can't see, like, the burden of proof that God exists, then chances are you are lacking the light. Like, you are not enlightened yet, right? You refuse to see it. So that is on you, it's not on anyone else. So for me, I always believe in God, but I don't believe in religion. That's why I lost the bet and convert to Islam in the first place. However, when I was incarcerated, I decided to read the Quran, and there's a lot of things that is quite logical, and I've learned it. One of the things that I've learned is I think in Surah 42 verse 30, if I'm not mistaken, it says that whatever misfortune that happens to you is because of what your hand has wrought, and however God forgives, right? So that kind of explain cause and effect, right? So if you have done bad stuff, then bad things shall come to you. That kind of like links with karma in Buddhism, because I didn't just read like the Quran. I also read the Bible, Zen teaching of Buddha, the Torah. So all those religious book kind of like point towards the same thing. Like in the Bible, there's also you reap what you sow, right? And in Buddhism is karma. Like whatever energy you put in is the energy you get. That kind of like in line with the Newton third law, right? Whatever, like Newton third law state, like with every action is an equal opposite reaction. So I kind of like start to piece things together. Like if you, I don't care how you put it, all of them are saying the same thing, right? If you want a good life, you have to be good, right? So when I realized that, I decided to just, you know what, try to be a better person, try to be a good person as much as possible, help as much people as possible. I mean, help as many people as possible. So that's when I realized that, yeah, like that's how I'm supposed to function, right? And have faith that God will reward you accordingly, right? And here's also my argument for the religious text and teaching, right? Because all of them are just basically telling us how to behave as humans, right? Religious texts are very, very important, because first you have to understand not everyone is blessed with a good environment to grow up in, right? So morality is sometimes questionable. How they behave is kind of questionable if they are not they are not provided with a very, very good healthy environment. So one of the things that I like to highlight is, like, if you want to study physics, if you want to be a physicist, you need to study physics, right? If you want to be a chemist, you need to study chemistry, right? And whatever subject that you want to be good at, you have to study that subject. And if you want to be a good human being, then your answer is all in religious texts. I don't care what religion you are. At the end of the day, look at the text, and are you trying to exemplify the teaching? Like, be a good person, be helpful, be understanding, be caring, be charitable, be forgiving, be all the good traits that kind of like will make humanity better, is all exemplified in the religious text, right? So that's where I'm going, you know. First, for you to have a positive life, for you to have a better life, start with the most basic relationship you can have, and that is the relationship with God, right? And believe in the higher power, believe that good things shall come to you if you approach everything with good intention. Not everything is within your control. Like, you do understand that everything is a blessing. However, some blessing comes as a form of lesson, right? So you have to understand, not everything, not all blessings are lessons, but all lessons are blessings. So you have to understand that you need to learn in order to grow, right? One of my favorite quotes is life gets better when you get better. So we have to always work on ourselves and try to be a better person, right? So that's my message. That's like the first episode of not the second episode of Positively Living, and I hope you learn a little bit from this and try to implement it in your life. So with that, I bid you peace. Take care.